Hello and welcome back to SpeedyNet, the one and only company with trains and tracks out here, because we are the only company. Anyway, we are looking at the Bunfing Bridge oil refinery, because this will be the centerpiece of our town growth program. But well, that has been like that for quite a while, and well, you know, the last few times, each and every time, we had to fix up all parts of our network that I didn't really lay out that future-proof. I mean, they were fine at the time, but then when SpeedyNet grows in that area, yeah, the capacities were a little bit insufficient. Now that that has all been done, I mean, the network's running fine. There are no real traffic jams because of bad design, so to say. We can finally focus again on the passenger thing. And the passenger thing, we know where it was at, was that we were in the need to start distributing petrol. And that is what I've been doing. But before we get to any of that, there is a thing that we need to do quickly. Let me see, where is it? Over here. So, about the petrol, huh? Let me explain quickly why we need to do what I'm about to do. If we go to the cargo flow legend and we go to the oil and we zoom out, and then... Oh, I didn't click on it? Alright. Anyway, you can see that we are making oil in 3 places. Over here, and this one isn't even really making all that much, so I don't really consider this one yet, but it is one. And we are making oil here, and this one's considerably bigger because it has 3 oil wells servicing it. Now, here's the thing, huh? Because we have these 3 oil wells over here, and we have a bunch of engineering supplies over here, I thought, you know what? Let's bring some of those to the oil wells, huh? Clever move, right? Well, oh crap. I just clicked it away, but there. Yeah. The oil wells and the junction, huh? This isn't really sufficient, if I may put it politely, as we're kind of lacking a possibility for the trains to go this route. So we kind of need to get that sorted, I feel, and I do need to take a look at, like, if the trains, I mean... Obviously, this is an easy connection, which we are gonna make, but that means that the train has to be on the outer line, so that means that if we're gonna feed it back into it, and I had a plan, well, I have a plan for that, it's the only thing that will actually work, we're gonna feed them in onto the inner line, which means that they are going to enter the station over here, which means they can make a switch over here onto the second inner lane, onto the... Yeah, well, as the switches are in place, it's just gonna mean that the train will have to make the switch each and every time. So it is gonna cause a few traffic jams, but the thing is that if we were to join it up on the outer lane, I do not have a conceivable way of making that, well, possible, unless we're gonna loop the whole thing around over here. Which, well, we could do, but it's a lot of tracks. And the thing I had in mind was just joop, joop, and then hook up here, you know? Quicker, easier, but... I guess the better solution would be for this, but it's only for 1 supply train, 2 actually, correct, I stand corrected. I think we're fine if we do it with the inner way. It's only for 2 supply trains, they won't be here a lot of the time, so yeah, this is one place where we need to do it. And you know what, I'll quickly get this sorted so that we can continue the explanation. Right, so that's that sorted. Now, the other place, like I said, where we need to do this stuff is over here. Because the oil or the supply train will... Oh man. Yeah, I know that this is making some people cringe because of speeds and whatnot. I like it. So long as we don't need to upgrade the tracks over here, I'm gonna keep this actually. I really like it. However, here is the other place where we need to kind of adapt our junctions a little bit. Because what's happening over here is that the train with the supplies goes over here and then finds, hey, there is no exit. So it goes all the way to somewhere over here, or I think even further. Maybe like over here, reverse, and then get onto this. And also, you know, to get back to the harbor, the big station with the supplies, it needs to do the same detour. So we are going to adjust this junction over here as well. Right, and that's sorted. Not the most beautiful junction we have ever made, far from it in fact, but functional nonetheless. Oh man, this is really some piece of antiquary. Actually, well, no, this is not the supply train. I was about to say, like, we might actually be looking at the supply train over here. But it could very well be this one actually. If I can actually... Yeah, this is actually the one. So apparently it will make the whole change, the whole switch somewhere up here, you know, up from these tracks. Wow, that's a long detour, man. I didn't even knew it was making such a long detour. Wow. Anyway, that's been fixed right now. So, yeah, this was one thing that we needed to do. Now, as for our whole town growth expansion program, that is all gonna start from over here. Let me just quickly bring you up to snuff with what I have been doing. What I've been doing is, I have been ferrying, and actually not the petrol from this station, but the petrol that we produce right over here in this station, and by the looks of it, we might actually need to upgrade this station. From the looks of it. How much is waiting there? Not that much. Well, anyway, what we've been doing is we have been putting the petrol from this station to two places. One of which is over here. I've built the docks here. And you can see that we have petrol right now. And from this dock, we are pretty much shipping it to everywhere that needs petrol. You can see over here petrol is being delivered, even though this town isn't really in dire need for it. Over here petrol has been delivered and the town is now growing. Hooray! You know, not all the towns will get petrol all the time, so occasionally we'll have... Wait, what? You still need mail? We are delivering mail, you know. Maybe it needs to update or something, I don't know. Anyway, look, this town's also growing because it's getting petrol, and all these towns around here have a petrol station, and occasionally they get petrol, and thus they will grow occasionally. You know, very occasionally, but, you know, I mean, I've gone for the spread it out everywhere approach rather than the focus it to somewhere approach. And I think we can, you know, do that because, well, we don't really need huge quantities of petrol yet. Oh, look, this one's growing as well. We don't need huge quantities of petrol yet, and therefore, I think we can get away with doing it like this. Once the quantities of petrol that we need are going up, then yeah, we're gonna have to start focusing it on cities. But wow, I just love the sight of this. Ships, boats everywhere, big and small, and they're all of our company. I love it, man. Maybe I love it even more than the trains that we got running, though. Those certainly have their charm, but man, there are a lot, and I love it that they're all different, you know, and it's not like, well, I could have gone with all the same type of shit, but they're actually servicing a purpose. Now this is, you know, this, if you zoom out, this one lake is one place where there is petrol being delivered. The other place is over here near Pradding Hall. You can see I've built a dock over here as well. There is no petrol waiting currently. That's partially because, well, you know, this petrol station, as you can see, it's not really producing that much, and because of that, well, this is really much closer than this station is, so therefore it is kind of, you know, this is getting less, but that's not to say that the towns over here do not get any petrol. Look, this one, for example, is growing, so it is working. There are a little bit, quite a few less towns over here. Look, this one's growing too. So, yeah, you know, and I've used the same approach here, except for Jinningpool and, what's it called? Dinnington. These towns, well, there are a few issues. Look, see? Issues. Very much so, issues. And the problem is, it's all like, you know, for some reason, the passengers that come from over here are just assigned to any station, which makes it kind of a problem for me to... Well, do you have passengers? You are empty currently. Have I set you to... Oh. Right, okay, we might want to change this around then. No loading. You know, I don't know what it is, but for some reason the cargo destination thingy doesn't really kick in over here. So we'll just keep it running like this till all the old passengers are gone. But yeah, you know, it's not really working, and they don't. Both of these cities don't need petrol, so they're not included. Now, one of the things I did have to do whilst setting this stuff up was, and you can see that especially over here. Look, we have Surfingly boy, and New Beffenlied boy, and Treffingborn boy. Yeah, boy, I think they're called. Anyway, these are kind of redundant. I guess we could remove Cunt Town, boy, but they're used to this, so I don't really want to remove them. Because I then have to refigure all the orders, and having an extra buoy, I don't think it's that much of a problem. So, yeah, you know, these were needed because the petrol's still coming from here. We have some really long distance lines. They might not ever be profitable, but well. Now, that's that, you know, we're having these towns slowly but surely grow into big metropoli. What I've also been doing is adjusting our capacities. Now, that was mainly needed everywhere we had harbors. Where we have trains, most of it is actually alright. There are a few exceptions, mainly being Bunfing Bridge oil refinery itself. As you can see, we have quite the amount of passengers that need to go to Trentfernley Market. Now, the amount is so big that I've actually gone ahead to well, kind of add a few emergency trains just to get rid of it. It was at 13,000 before. Yeah, 13,000, I know. Which, and that is the next thing, if we take a look at our operating profit graph, I think that currently we're really starting to work through all the backlogs of old coal, old engineering supplies, old amount of passengers, mountains of mail that we had waiting. So this was the dip that we were fixing before the, you know, with the old station, well, clock down. You know, with the whole junction that we reworked over here. Then all the backlog, which wasn't really that old apparently, got transported. Profits went up, even to the 30 million almost. And then we started to get through the really old stuff, and now profit's been declining because, well, as we know, stuff that lays on a station for too long and then gets transported leads to negative profits. That is a known thing. We discovered that a few videos ago. So therefore, I think, you know, we had the backlog that was profitable all being hauled at once. Then the trains, you know, weren't full except for the ones that had the old backlog. And that's where I think the decline in profits is starting to come from. Overall though, if you take a look, we're still doing slightly better. I mean, I think that right about this point is where the backlog started to kick in really. And if you take a look, I mean, that's like 27 from 22, 23, something like that. So there's definitely an increase in profits, and the more passengers we start to transport that do not have negative profits attached to them, the more this will become. So I'm not worried about that. Now, that's what I've been doing. Actually, there is another thing that I've been doing, which actually, I mean, how could I forget? Took a hell of a lot of time, but for me, this was really, you know, the way to go. Look at this. Look at this. What do you see over here? All our passenger trains sorted here, right? Well, I have named all the passenger trains to the corresponding lines that they serve. So we have 4 Bunfing Bridge Dintwood trains at the moment. We also have 4 Bunfing Bridge Trenley trains. You know, for me it was just not really, well, I just couldn't get a grasp on, like, if I took a look at the station where there was a lot of passengers waiting and I saw, alright, so a lot of them need to go to this city. How many trains do I have to that city? I just couldn't tell, you know. Now I can see, and the good thing is that if, let's a hypothetical thing, huh? But I want more trains between Bunfing Bridge and Trenley. Look, this is automatically named Bunfing Bridge Trenley 4. Now, we don't need this train, so I'm gonna delete it, but, you know, that's the cool thing about it. It keeps in line with the naming, it just adds a number to it, which I think is just excellent. So, yeah, you know, this for me makes it a whole lot easier to manage capacities. We can also clearly see where, you know, we're making good profits and where we have overcapacity this way. So, yeah, I like it. I think this is a clever and smart move. Took really long though, because it's really fiddly. You have to imagine, say for example, this was just train, you know, like this train would be train 170. To name it, I have to look, where does it go? I then have to remember this, close, oh crap, close it, go to the name, and then over here, enter that stuff, you know, and yeah. Then if I enter it, and apparently I already had a train, then it would give up an error message saying no unique train can have the same name or whatever, you know. So yeah, that's kind of nah. Also, this I clicked on by accident. It's actually a rather interesting table of information that you can see over here, because you can see the change in profits and you can see the change in days, how long it took. So if we just, you know, click on this train, for example, go to its history, we can see that there is, I mean, this is where it's currently going, I believe, so this doesn't count, but you can see that these trains have a fairly regular schedule, you know, not the cargo, but the amount of days it takes is actually fairly good. That indicates that it doesn't really encounter any real sort of traffic jams. Now, if we take a look at this train then, I mean, passengers should be, wow, there's really big fluctuation in the cargo load, but not that much in the amount of days. I guess for ships it will be even less fluctuation, really. Wow, the game isn't liking this. I know things have become big. If you take a look at this ship, for example, I'm just curious, you know. Yeah, maybe that's not a good example. I guess this will be a good example. No, no, it just is really random, but you can see that with ships, the amount of days it takes is just fairly constant, which is actually really a big plus, you know. Now, as it stands, you know, getting to what we are going to do, that is growing the cities. I want to start from Bunfing Bridge and grow all the cities surrounding it by supplying the petrol till we run out, right? Now, Bunfing Bridge itself needs a hell of a lot of passengers and mail, and, well, over here there is a lot of passengers. And actually, there's also quite a few who need to go through Bunfing Bridge. So, I guess that it's only fitting that we add at least one more vehicle over here. Just saying. Is it timetabled? Yeah, it is. Alright. Good. Well, that's a thing we definitely need to do. Other than that, you know, Bunfing Bridge itself well, actually, there's also a lot of mail waiting over here. But that doesn't really need to go to Bunfing Bridge, so that's taken care of. Now, Bunfing Bridge itself needs loads of passengers and loads of mail. And the reason for that is that Bunt Town is a really small town. I mean, Freywood, another neighboring town, is equally as big in size. Rindford is not equal in size, but is on the list of growing. Well, actually, I mean, not really, but it's not really that small. The thing that's really that small is, where is it? Bunttown. So if we want to grow Bunfing Bridge, then we need to grow Bunttown, and preferably with passengers from Bunfing Bridge. So, and this is kind of like the thing that, you know, my theory about how to grow towns efficiently is you just need to take a look at the neighboring towns and see, like, for example, here it's Barnpool, Chonford, and what's the other one? Ninville? Can't even find that. Oh, it's wow. So this town, you know, really, I mean, to grow, Ninville also needs to grow, and you can see Ninville just needs ridiculous small amounts of cargo requirements. So that's the way how we are going to grow. We're just gonna take a look at, okay, who are the neighboring towns? Are they big or small? Are they small? Do we need to grow them? That's basically how it's gonna work. So yeah, knowing that, let's get that started, shall we? So the first thing that we need to do then is to set up a station near Bunt Town, which, well, I mean, we do need the station for Bunt Town, Bunfing Bridge, but from Bunt Town to other places like Barnpool and Ninville, we don't really need a station, I feel. I mean, we could make do with just a road. To Chonford we do need a station, so I guess the best layout for a station would be something like over here. However, there is issues I can instantly see. Yeah, there is issues. Terrain issues. Oh man. Now we can get around the terrain issues quite easily, actually, if we go around something, you know, like that. Well. Yeah, I think that we're better off if we place the station like this, just because that makes it easier to handle. So that's what we're gonna do. We are going to be building a station over here, but we should start with the road setup. So yeah, let's get that started, shall we? What? How is this even possible? Hold on a second. I want to see this. How is this possible? Tell me exactly, how do we have a Zeppelin, huh? I mean, I guess it has to do with our airplane crashing. I mean, I don't know really. But how do we have a Zeppelin? We don't! Well, even if we did, well, we wouldn't own one now anyway, but we don't own a Zeppelin game, so it cannot crash, understand? Oh man. By the way, do we have new aircraft? I mean, maybe we... Ooh, what is this? 40 passengers? We have new airplanes. Are these airplanes just being snug in without me noticing this? Because really, what we're using right now is the Fokker. Or not? No, we're using the Handley Page, which is big, but this is bigger. Huh, okay. I guess we need to upgrade some stuff over here. Definitely, do we need to upgrade some stuff over here? I want the Armstrong in use because honestly, well, let's take a look at this. Yeah, no, it's the Armstrong Whitworth that we want. So yes, start replacing all of them. Alright. Good. Anyway, this cannot happen. This is a competitor's Zeppelin, even though, I mean, I guess, airports are usually shared between, line companies, like you got like Air Malaysia and I don't know, any other KLM, I guess, and whatever, an EasyJet, they all use the same airport. But still, this is a competitor sneaking in his Zeppelins and then crashing them above my prestigious dirt airport. Shame on you, nameless competitor. Alright, well, back to building train stations, shall we? Now we are left for an interesting choice for locomotive. We could use the ultra-fast Hudson Steam, which is not that reliable, or we choose the much more reliable yet a little bit slower. Ooh. Or we choose the more reliable and faster Streamliner Steam. Wow, this one can go bonkers fast, man. Right, we're gonna use this one. By the way, about what I've been using when I added trains here and there, for capacity's sake. For the cargo, I found that the Texas locomotive is just awesome. It is reliable, it is powerful, and it can go only 8 kilometers short of the max speed imposed by the wagons for most of the heavy cargo that it needs to pull. Which is just amazing, I think this is one of my go-to trains right now, and it is so powerful that if you compare it to the Atlantic, which we've been using, it can pull almost 4 times as much. Let's keep it at 3.5 times. I mean, that's just insane. And these Atlantic locomotives, I've been setting them up with like 4 or 5 wagons per locomotive. Over here, I can just go with 1 locomotive and then slam 10 behind it and it will pull it just fine, fully loaded. So that's really amazing. But anyway, the choice for locomotive over here is obvious. We're gonna go with this one. So yeah, let me quickly set this up. Right, and there we go. Now, setting up this train and building all this has made me realize that I have forgotten one important thing about, well, what we kind of need to do, which is over, let me just zoom out and find it, which is over here actually. There is an issue that we have over here that I hadn't addressed, but that I do need to address, which is our petrol trains. Because they need to kind of pass through over here But there is no real pass-through track. They kind of need to go through the station. I believe it's you actually who needs to go there. Yeah, this is the train. If you take a look at what it's doing, it needs to kind of get on the outer section over here, so that it can get on the inner section over here, but it needs to go through the station, which I think is just retarded. So wait, why? There is space here, trains. You don't need to wait. Oh, it's actually choosing... Alright, it's choosing a route over there. Ah, well, anyway, that doesn't make much of a difference, you know, because in the end, no, this is not needed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay some tracks that make the, that enable a bypass for these trains, so they don't need to go this, well, obnoxious route. So yeah, let's quickly get that sorted. Alright, that's it then. I mean, this is not the most elegant solution, you know, having one track go kind of counter well, traffic flow like this, but it is the quick and easiest solution. I mean, the neat solution would be to have this go all the way around and then hook up somewhere over here. Which is also an option, but I think this is a more cleaner solution, even though it gives a little bit of a mess, you know, with the... well, what does it matter in the long run, you know, if this solves the problem, right? Besides, it doesn't look that ugly either. It kind of does go along with the tracks, it's just that the trains do run in a counter traffic flow of sorts. of sorts. Anyway, now that we got this done, let's go back to where we were. And you did saw me clicking away quite a few messages of, of new vehicles that we've gotten. Let's actually take a look at what we have right now in terms of new trains. I mean, we did take a look already over here, and well, this one, you know, really powerful, but not really that fast. Quite reliable though. It's like a little bit of the upgraded version of the Texas, you know, the Challenger. And I quite like it, albeit that it's kind of slow. It's also kind of expensive. So, though the Texas is apparently just as expensive, even a little bit more expensive. But then again, it goes a little bit faster. Now that's for the steam engines, which is all hunky-dory. Over here, we didn't really got anything new, so... I think the main new stuff that we actually did got was over here. We have now a diesel engine, apparently, which is ultra weak. Look at it, it can't pull anything. I guess you're supposed to just chain these or something, but that's just expensive like crazy. Now these, you know, we already had, which this is a relatively good engine if it weren't for the fact that the reliability was so crap. We also got this is new, the diesel shunter. For what purpose? I do not know. Honestly, I do not know. I guess this is one of the first diesel engines, and therefore it's the same as over here, the grasshopper, you know. First engine, I mean, what is the purpose of this? Exactly, but I guess that the shunter is kind of comparable to the grasshopper or the Norris, you know, in a way. Actually, we can check that if we take a look at, yeah, the costs are comparable to the Norris, so yeah, you know, I guess this is just to prelude an era of where we're gonna get great diesel engines, which are apparently a thing that we are going to get. Also, I have been told that these engines with a re-gearing thing over there, you can actually change the gear ratio. Let's actually check that out, because I haven't done that yet. We might as well. So it is the Pennsylvania. What can I do with you, train? I can apparently re-gear this somewhere. Capacities, re-gearing. Where do I re-gear this? Cargo, re-gearing. 0 re-gearing. Now I figured that much. Ooh, I can check it over here. Right, okay. Now this is interesting. Look, we can make it slower. Which, why is this in miles per hour exactly? Whilst I have everything in kilometers. Oh god. So, hold on a second, because I'm thinking this is 160 kilometers an hour, which is quite fast. But we can make this, I don't know, something else in an hour. And I guess 145 or something. Or 140. With more power. I mean, this is just an absolutely amazing engine, by the way. For the electric purposes, I mean, I've been using this one. But in all honesty, this is just way, way better. I mean, it can go faster. And it has more power. And it is not that much more expensive to run and buy, actually. Very interesting, this stuff. We will definitely take a more in-depth look at that kind of stuff once it becomes available. On the other hand, I kind of don't like it in principle, you know, on theory basis, that by having these options, we're kind of pigeonholed into using only one engine, which we have a myriad of train engines, which I quite like. But, oh well. Now, the question is, how many passengers? Oh, you have 3 bags of mail from Buntown. Yeah, I guess the issue that we're seeing over here is that by unloading it, you know, there is no other train that's gonna pick it up. So there is no cargo for it yet, I think. Is there? Well, at least not in terms of passengers. I doubt it will be there in mail. That's one of the problems if we're not delivering directly. So for the time being, we're gonna have to do transfer. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck with this train being full of its own passengers. That's not gonna work, so... Alright, well, that's that done then. Anyway, you know, that's where we looked at the trains, because I was looking at new stuff that we had gotten. And of course, there is also road vehicles and trams and whatnot. And apparently, we have gotten quite a few of them right now. This is the one that we're currently using. I don't think we've gotten anything new over there. Over here, though, compared to this... It is only like a small marginal upgrade. I think if we compare this is like a quarter upgrade, you know. It's not it's not like a 100% increase in effective capacity, you know. Speed with cargo capacity multiplied is what I call effective capacity, my measuring unit. So, in all honesty, you know, I think this is kind of meh. And not worth investing a hell of a lot of time manually upgrading everything. This though, this is another matter. This is a considerable upgrade. It goes almost 50% faster, and it has like almost it has like a 75% cargo increase. So if you combine those in total, I think you would the outcome would be close to a 100% upgrade. Oh wow, and we also have one over here. We've been using this one. Now there's this one, which is marginal again. So this though, this is no the tanker thingy. That is a considerable upgrade. Same for this one. I might want to wait till we have one better upgrade, but the one that's coming next will definitely be chosen. Whilst compared to this one, you know, the one that's next, if it's not like on the same level as the next upgrade of the ATP Primus, I don't think we're even gonna choose it. You know, this might take two additional new upgrade vehicles before I'll start replacing them. Whilst over here, the next one, definitely on my list. Right, good to keep in mind. Oh, and by the way, look at that, 1,000. We're on round numbers. Yay. Now then, we are growing the town of Buntown. Oh well, to put it more precisely, we're not. Honestly, we are not, because Buntown is not really generating any passengers with any destination as of yet, but that's gonna change. So, in the meantime though, Buntown itself requires quite a few passengers, but I think we should also take a look at growing Barnpool. Johnford is already big, we don't need to take a look at that, that is already growing. But Barnpool and Ninville, I think, are also excellent candidates to start growing. Especially Ninville. I mean, Ninville hardly is a city or a town or even a village. It's only 6 houses. I mean, also, rather than using roads everywhere, I am much more in favor of using boats because they can scale much better. I mean, theoretically speaking, with well, you know, if this all comes into play at some point, all we need is 5 boats and the whole city will be served. So in that regards, you know, I think boats are the future. So knowing that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay out a road to Ninville and then do the rest to Barnpool by road. And Barnpool, you have Ninville, Buntown and Chonford. So basically, if we zoom out a little bit, this means that Barnpool is kind of the end of this neighboring city area. So I guess it's all done by vicinity then. Interesting. It's also interesting that Pfeffingbridge is not on its list. I guess with these 3 towns being closer by. That's interesting, because we can close the circle over here, you know, with the town growth setup that we're going for. So yeah, let me set up some roads and stuff over here then, shall we? Alright, and done, sorted. Now hopefully this will mean that the towns over here will start to prosper and grow and whatnot. Yeah, and this is still with the 1 station thingy. This is kind of annoying really. Also, I kind of did forgot... What? That sounded hilarious. It's like there was some clog in the pipe or something that got vomited out, you know. Oh, all right. Yeah, Apparently, and that's a really cool thing actually, I think, you know, each of these trains has its own air horn, I guess, or steam venting sound, which I think is just a really cool feature, but yeah, you know, just wanted to let you know. So, now that we got this sorted, Buntown is in no need for any, well, it's still to any station. Yeah, via any station to any station. That's kind of a shame, really, if I'm honest. I mean, one passenger via any station. That is taken by some train to somewhere, but God knows where. I mean, if it goes to Trenley Market, which is really, you know, a thing. Oh, and now they all need to go to Paffingburg. That's great. So, yeah, you know, me shipping off all the passengers over here means, of course, that they're gonna end up in some other place. I could have known this. You know, this isn't rocket science. So now that they all need to go to Paffingburg, I might need to... well, actually, if they... via Paffingburg? Oh, that... like, only 400 of them actually want to go there. Right. So... I guess, you know, just to haul away... What? A double-decker bus! Oh my good lord! This is amazing! Wow, a double-decker bus! Let me quickly see, how are our current vehicles? I don't think that we're even close to the 50 capacity. No, the biggest we have is 18. So I can tell you one thing. Definitely do we want the double-decker bus. You know, that's a thing that we are going to apply everywhere. No, but anyway, the good thing about how I set up our trains right now is that from Trenley Market Woods, I can see in an instant how many trains I have going to Paffingburg. And I can see that it's only 2. I think we should... well, actually, there's also quite a lot of mail, which also needs to go all to Paffingburg. At least via Paffingburg to... most of it actually needs to go there too. Right, so in that case, I think it's best if we clone our train with the most mail vans over here. And yeah, we will just add one, just to, you know, this is more like a crisis train. Most likely later on I will remove this train, but for the time being, to ship all these passengers to, you know, it's kind of like an emergency train that we got going. Also, I kind of really like the way how we have different wagons for the same purposes and stuff, you know. I think that's really cool. Rather than having all the trains be the same, you know, with all the wagons, it adds variety, you know. I like it. It's how it goes in real life too, I feel. So, anyway, this is all running, you know, this is all sorted. Still no destination, damn it. Yeah, I guess this just needs, it needs some time to upgrade itself, I guess. So. Anyway, now that this is all sorted, I guess we should take a look at where the oil needs to go next, because this is more just, you know, for Bunfing Bridge, so that this city can grow. That will take a while, so we need to expand our horizon. We're not gonna wait on it. And the area that I want to expand in is kind of like over here. Because it's just like, you know, it's close by. There is tracks leading from Bunfing Bridge Station all the way to over here. And there's cities over here as well. So I guess the next logical destination for oil would be Punttown. But the truth is the opposite. Okay. What does Punttown need to grow? Well, basically, Buntown, I believe, is the biggest of its city, as it has Pfeffing Bridge as its neighbor, Great Trenninghead, and not Little Protown, and Tronfingburg. I mean, the whole name doesn't even ring a bell to me. Oh wait, it's over here. Tronfingburg. Right, Tronfingburg. Great! Why do we always have cities in the middle of effing nowhere? Trondheimburg. That's a small city, so that doesn't need a whole lot to upgrade. Same for you over there. Now this is easy because this doesn't really require that much, but Trondheimburg, of all places, this requires train tracks, most definitely. So if we're gonna do train tracks, it has to be from this station. Well, I guess we could... What we could do is we could add, you know, station tracks to this, but have them be separate stations. So, or have the tracks be separate, so the tracks would only go to Trondheimburg. Yeah, I guess that would work. I guess we should go with a system like that. But first we're gonna hook up Bridge over here. Oh man, these names. Apparently, you know, this is based on English names, but I don't know. Bridge. Ah well. Right, okay. How are we gonna hook up Bridge? I think we're going to expand our tram network. By going over here and then adding the tram there. Yeah, kind of has to, because the city is all up in my grill. What we could also do alternatively is run a railroad track there. But I don't feel that that's a good solution, so that's why we are not going to do that. Right, okay, so, yeah, let's get this show on the road. Alrighty, well, we got ourselves this town of Pfeffingburg connected with fancy new trams, because these can go even faster and they will all be backed up against the slower moving trams. But hey, they can go faster and they have longer distance to cover, so it's all good, I guess. Wait, what's this? You have no orders. Where are you running exactly? Balls. Somewhere over here there is apparently balls. Alright, to find out what's wrong over here we need the cargo flow legend, and we need it for passengers and, well, only passengers, not for mail. Now what's missing over here? From Vlondinghall to Darthead Cross there is a connection. From everywhere to everywhere else, there's also a connection. There are... I don't believe that... No, well, actually, there are passengers building up everywhere. I don't want that. Stop spamming. I guess you are then for the Darthead Cross line. That's alright. It's good that we now know this. So... Hold on a second. I don't know really what's happening over here, but you are going to copy his orders. Yeah, that's, you know, I think that's a thing that might have happened with me upgrading everything and copying all the orders and whatnot, you know. Some mistakes, some errors might have been made, so at least I attribute it to that. Now, we were building all the way up here. This is where we were building. Right, so Bridge is being catered for, right? Passengers, yeah, those will get there eventually. I mean, the thing is as well, this station, this textile mill, is really only there to transport passengers to these cities. but Pfeffing Bridge, its neighboring towns are not over here, so it doesn't really need an, well, actually, Little Prar Town. Balls, and more balls. Ah well, I guess we could transfer those passengers through Punt Town, but the best way would be to also have a connection between Pfeffing Bridge and this thing over there. That would be the best solution, to be honest. I guess we could actually arrange that, so whilst we're at it, because it's a neighboring town and we should connect those up. That way, if one starts to grow and then the other one will have influence on it and whatnot. I don't know really. In my mind, it's just better to have neighboring towns be connected to each other. As far as it's possible, at least, I mean, if we're not gonna do that, then we're gonna transfer the passengers to Punt Town, and then from Punt Town to this station. Whilst we could also do it directly. Right? No, that's actually not right. You go back to the depot. You know why this is not right? Because this is an extra tram engine and it's in no way justifiable to have 2 trams on a city that only produces 15 passengers a month. So if we, if this town starts to grow and the flow of passengers starts to become big and we start to see bigger numbers in Punt Town, and then we take a look at it and we will see that, hey, the passengers over here need to go to the textile mill, and where are they from? We can see that they're from this station. So in that regards, we can find out if the cause is an increase of passengers over here, but for the time being, only the 1 tram that goes there is sufficient. Company efficiency and all that. Now, company efficiency and all that. Here goes our efficiency into... Oh man, yeah. Oh, and look at it, it's on a freaking mountain. Oh, mountain, it's on a hill. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Oh. I mean, here's the thing, right? Trondheimberg has Punt Town, of course, as a neighboring city. But then it has Dondtburn, which is all the way over here, Dondtburn, and Trundington. So that means that, from Punt Town to Trondheimberg we need a train, but then from Trondheimberg to these 2 places we will also need trains. So we need to lay out this station preferably in such a way that both of them can be achieved, and I think like this is the way to go. Because then we can go to Trundington and also to Dondtburn if we so desire. I mean, over here we have a hotel as well, so there's no real... Wait, what? What's this? A bauxite mine? Huh, bauxite. Interesting. Well, how does the industry chain of bauxite go? Obviously it needs engineering supplies, but then it goes to an aluminum plant. It's the only place where you can bring it. And the aluminum plant needs bauxite, chemicals and scrap metal to turn into metal. Is there an aluminum plant nearby so I can take a look at it? Aluminum plant. Well, we can find... No, that's not what I want to do. If I click on the industry directory, you know what's gonna happen? The game will just freeze for a minute or so, because apparently that is a big thing, the industry directory. Now let's take a look at the map and see if we have a bauxite or a aluminium plant nearby. This is new stuff, I haven't seen this. Aluminium plants. There are 134 of those, and there is one over there. Right. Oh wow, this looks fancy. Look at it, man. It's space age. We are living, in the Second World War era, and wow, it even has these transformator thingies, for the power. Wow. Right, okay. So then the conversion to metal is actually pretty poor. Scrap's doing a little bit better, but it's pretty poor overall. It needs chemicals, which we use in other places far more efficiently. Though it could only do with bauxite and scrap, I guess, but... Oh well. Anyway, yeah. Tronfingberg. We're gonna build a station, like, over here. And then that will serve as a connection for, you know, also to over here. Should we need it. I mean, passengers are being taken care of over here already, so... Only if we need it. For the time being, this will be the only connection to Tronfingberg, as I'm not gonna invest in stuff over here, as... I mean, Tronfingberg, what kind of city is it, you know? Really, it produces 18 passengers and it only needs 8, so yeah. Oh well, I guess, you know, in order to grow Punt Town, we need to. So I guess there's no way, you know, no escape to it, but really. Anyway, let's get it sorted. Alrighty, and there it is set up. Tronfingberg is now part of the Proud network. Now, you might also be wondering, why did I choose the other mail wagon over the, you know, the one from the North American set? It's actually rather simple. Over here you can see that this one is 40 passenger capacity and it weighs 28 tons. This one weighs 35 tons. So that's the only reason really why I chose, you know, the other passenger wagon. This one is technically better because it has no speed limit, but the speed limit of 201 kilometers an hour is not something that we're gonna achieve anytime soon. On the other hand, this mail car can only have 30 bags of mail. This one can have 35. Well, choice made, right? At least for me, that is. So that's the reason why. And look at this train going blazing fast, by the way. I love it, man. It is really going ultra fast. I think it even reached close to its top speed, man. This is like a lightning bullet almost. It kind of reminds me of this sexy bullet-looking steam engine that we had in Train Fever. Don't know if this is the one though, but look at it, just ramping up speed. Look at the distance between the smoke clouds of the steam, you know? That's usually quite telling for how fast it is going. Look, it's almost ramping up to max speed, which is 185 kilometers an hour. Look at that. Look at the distance between the smoke, you know? Of course, a little hill does of course, look at it. The distance becomes even bigger. I love it. I absolutely love it. Right, okay, so now that we know that the town of Tronfingberg Balls. You know what I did forget, of course, is that Treffingberg, for the time being, will not have any passengers with any destination. So we need to put the transfer on till the time's there that Treffingberg is actually generating passengers without or with a destination. Now, how is that going for the town of Bunttown? Are there passengers with a destination over here? That is the question. And also, are there passengers over here that have the destination of, what was it called? Bunttown. I guess we could see that more easily over here. Definitely not. There's definitely no one who wants to go to Bunttown. That doesn't really surprise me that much, but oh well. I guess that just needs to pick up, you know, at some point. I mean, same over here. I guess the amount of passengers, yeah, it's just to any station, really. Do you have any passengers? You have 0 passengers. I mean, Ninningville, will you actually even... Well, it has received passengers, so this town is already growing. And in fact, how could I have missed it? It now has 7 buildings. Oh. Yeah, it is. So it is growing. Right, that's good. The population is going down though, as before it had 112. But well, you know, I guess. Wow, 39 passengers stored even. That's quite a lot, to be fair. I mean, Barnpool, how many do you get? You only get 1 out of 18. Now, well, you know, this just needs some time to set up. And then, you know, once it's sorted, it will all be nice and hunky-dory. I love these trains, though, with their speed, man. That is just insane. Right, okay. So, now that we have kind of sorted Punt Town, and in a way, well, also... In a way, also these towns, I guess, because Trundington needs, well, it needs passengers, but it also needs petrol. And Duntborn, I guess, kind of in the same way. This only needs petrol. I don't think we're gonna get petrol anytime soon here. We could take a look at the map, though, see how the petrol situation is doing. Let's take a look at this. Also, I might just want to zoom in just to make it easier for the game, because really, the game doesn't handle it that well zoomed out. What were we looking at? Aluminium plants? We don't need those. I need to have a proper look at the amount of oil wells we have, and the oil refineries. We still have no oil rigs, unfortunately, but... Now, the oil refineries are all pretty close. There's a oil well over there, actually, that's in an interesting location. I'm trying to spot if there's other oil wells that are... Well, there's 3 over here. But then there's no real oil refinery anywhere nearby. I guess this one, but this area does not have city, you know, that doesn't have passenger transport yet. I see. Same over here, you know, this is not really where we do passenger transport, and I was mainly looking over here into this area where we actually do have it, and over here. And it's a bit of a shame. I mean, we only have the one oil well over here, and it doesn't produce a whole lot. With this, we're never gonna get really, you know, any city. Well, we can focus one city. Oh, there's a breakdown over here. I thought for a moment there that we had traffic congestion, but no. But the thing is, you know, this oil well, I mean, this isn't enough to get the whole region growing. We need to focus it per city if we're gonna do it. Plus, I don't think we really have any consistent supply of engineering supplies over here, which is another small but not minor issue. Right, well, I think that we have made big progress today, even though you might not see it all that much when we take a look at the cities. But I think that we have made big progress today in Well, in just growing the towns, growing the cities, you know. Look, even the 1 bag of mail has been delivered, so things are coming in. It is working, right? You do have passengers now, don't you? No. You do not have passengers. Ah well, that will come over time. You know, we have laid the foundations for stuff to grow in the future. So, hopefully, you know, once we are a little bit further in the future, we will have laid the foundations for pretty much everything to grow over here. And then, you know, this one arm of the network will be one very well developed arm in terms of cities. We will have big major metropoli over here. And I can't wait to see it happen. But that and more all has to wait for next time when we play more OpenTTD.